Hey, what's up guys? My name is MrYorkiesWorld. I do apologise about the time it's taken to post this video, however, I have some very exciting news today. We are here on the ground at some brand new scenery with Norwegian Air, flight number 2517 from Corfu to London Gatwick. And I understand we are using London Gatwick a lot lately, however, this newly purchased scenery doesn't actually have any ILS approaches, so this is going to be something new in terms of a departure airport, but it's also going to be something new in terms of learning visual approaches when it comes to that as well. So anyway, we're going to go straight into the fuel, and we're going to be taking £22,360 worth of fuel on our flight today. What I will do just before that is set the weight units to pounds. I don't know why I do it. It's always in kilograms whenever I download a new livery, but I prefer to actually read it in pounds, so that's just my personal preference. So again, fuel, and we're going to be taking £22,360 of fuel today. It's going to take about 2 hours and 52 minutes to get over to Gatwick. We are literally just activating the fuel pumps now. We can set the ISO valve to auto and start the APU. I'm going to set the wheel well light on just so we can do the walk around if that was really happening. And the cruise pressurization is going to be set to 370. Seatbelts on and the chime and everything. Not that it would be needed at this stage, but we're going to do it anyway. We can align the IRSs. I'm just trying to speed through this process, get everything set up, ready for departure and takeoff and everything like that, so we can get ourselves out of here. So we need to go to init ref. We are at LGKR today. We're actually standing at gate number 3. And we can go ahead and take the GPSL position, stick it in there, and set the altimeter as well. Hit route. And we've actually got a route set up. It's LGKR to EGKK. Has it worked? No, it hasn't, because I've not actually saved the route in EFB. So bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to go ahead and save that route in EFB, so it goes into the NGX folder of the PMDG. And now it should work. So if we try it, yep, there we go. So next we need to request clearance from ATC.
2517 with the 80 request clearance.
North Shuttle 2517, Roger, runway 17.
17, that is runway heading 166.
Alpha 2 Bravo departure handling as filed. Climb and maintain flight level 50.
5,000 on the initial altitude.
Within 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 129.3.
And with that, we might as well clear any warnings that we've got. And continue with the rest of it. So it's runway 17 is the departure runway for today. We are with flight number IBK or India Bravo Kilo 2517. And we can activate and execute that. Perfect it. Zero fuel weight is 1 to 1.8. A standard reserves of 2.9, and the cost index, I believe, for Norwegian Air is 80, so we're going to put that in there. That's what I think it is anyway. The transition altitude, according to EFB, is 5,000 feet. I'm just checking that on here because it's not always correct. 5,000 feet, we're going to put that in there. The cruise level is obviously 370. Execute that. Engine page, we can bring that up, and we can go ahead and close the doors for catering because they're no longer required. Might as well request boarding as well while we're at it. I'm literally just speeding through this, probably quicker than what I usually do. And hopefully we can get off the ground and see some amazing scenery on our departure from Corfu. This is absolutely fantastic. It's FlyTampa's Corfu. I saw it. I was just going through some scenery and stuff from FlyTampa. And I saw it and I thought, you know what, that has got to be my next purchase, so I went ahead and bought it. So our V2 is 147. We're going to be taking off with flaps 5, as usual. And we're also going to go ahead and set our departure, which is the Olga 2 Bravo SID from runway 17. There it is at the bottom. Bit of a weird departure, we sort of go round in a circle on ourselves, but nevertheless, as you can see, that's what's going to happen. Essentially, we're going to go round and then out. Nevertheless, route. We can go back to takeoff page, make sure it's all okay, which it is. Takeoff ref page is fine. We can set the V2 speed. So 147 with the VORs, the traffic and the data. I might also switch on the terrain as well because This is sort of a terrainy environment, if that makes sense. It's not really something that we need to do, but I just like to do it sometimes, depending on the scenery that we're using. So we can open the doors for GSX now, just to allow the passengers to come on. Yaw damper on with the window heat switches. LNAV and VNAV, they're all armed. Auto brake set to RTO. Transfer the APU power. And the only thing that we're waiting for now, clear that warning, is for the passengers to get on board. We're going to go ahead and set the fix information for EGKK at 50, 100 and 150 mile radius rings just around the airport. EGKK can be a little bit of a bugger to get into, really. But depending on the approach and traffic and stuff like that. A lot of people ask why I don't go on VATSIM and stuff like that on the networks. The main reason I don't do it, I've been wanting to, but obviously with me having a 1-year-old son and obviously a partner and stuff like that, family time sort of takes over a lot of my life, which is again why I don't do very long haul flights much at the moment. But as you can see, this is the departure. It's the same with live streams as well. I've been delaying those, and yeah, it's not really something that I can do right now, because if, for example, I'm in the middle of a live stream that goes on for several hours, and my 1-year-old needs me or something like that, that's the 50-mile radius. If my 1-year-old needs me, then, you know, that he has to come first, so that's the reason, guys. XPDR with the transponder, give it a quick test as well. Nevertheless, I do love doing videos like this, and people seem to like them, so for now at least, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. If you'd like to support the work that I do, again, you can always nip over to my Patreon page. You can donate if you really want to, if you really feel that that's adequate, you don't have to. But nevertheless, the passengers are just getting on the plane now, so I will catch up with you guys as soon as they're on, which shouldn't be too long. Right, okay, so the passengers have completed the boarding process. We can go ahead now and start closing some doors and preparing ourselves for takeoff and departure. Close the cargo as well. It's a pretty short taxiway to runway 17 as well, from what I've looked at on the charts and everything, so it shouldn't be a problem. We can arm the auto throttle. Switch on the hydraulic pumps and the anti-collision light as well. We've switched off the wheel well light because the walk around would have finished by now. And we don't actually have a pushback on this because of the weird layout of the runway, of the parking position, so we can literally just taxi straight out. I'm going to remove the ground connections, and we should be able to just start the engines right here and get ourselves off. I don't know whether that's what they do in real life, but that's what we're going to do today. So engine number 2. Wait a few seconds and we can release some fuel now and listen to the engine spooling up. Love the work that they've done on the Corfu scenery. FlyTampa always does fantastic scenery. And that coach appears to have just decided to go through our wing, so thank you very much, Mr. Coach. No other traffic around. There he is just continuing along, not even stopping to give his insurance information. Nevertheless, just waiting for engine number 2. There was the cutout. Engine number 1 now. Wait a few seconds and we can release some fuel now. Look at the mountains in the background. I absolutely love it. Get a better view. So we can see the fan blades spinning around. I've had a few questions as well about the Airbus package and when I'm going to be getting that, and why don't I get the FS Labs A320? I'm actually waiting for the Aerosoft package, because you get the A320, the A321 and like the A319 I think it is, whereas the FS Labs to me is quite a high price for one aircraft, I can't really say much because I paid quite a bit for the PMDG aircraft, but still, it's hard times right now. I have to be thinking about family and stuff, so we are limited to the PMDG aircraft right now until Aerosoft go ahead and release their Airbus package, in which case I'll upgrade to that as well and enter a whole new world of learning that particular aircraft. Packs are on, ISO valves already sorted, APU bleed off and the APU itself, engines to continuous. We might as well set the trim and everything, and obviously do the flaps 5. And if we take a quick wing view, if I can get there in time, I should really set a hotkey up for this particular view of the flaps. But we can see them being extended. Like so. And if we do a quick control check, full left and full right. We should really do full forward and full back, but nevertheless, who cares? That is basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going straight forward, turning left and then taking a right. There is no real way to get pushed back. There's no point in getting pushed back at this stand.
North Shuttle 2517. Taxi 5 Bravo Alpha to runway 17.
5 Bravo Alpha to runway 17. North
Taxi lights, they can go on. And the runway turn-offs, obviously. And that's it. We are cleared to taxi to the runway. Parking brake off. And we can slowly make our way to runway 17. So again, just a little bit of information about this flight. I seem to be forgetting this in the last few videos. I forgot to tell you some information about the flight. So again, this is going to be Corfu, which is Lima Golf Kilo Romeo, all the way to EGKK Echo Golf Kilo Kilo London Gatwick. It's going to take approximately 2 hours and 52 minutes, covering about 1,295 nautical miles. Our flight level is 370, and again, we are with Norwegian Air 2517 or India Bravo Kilo 2517 in the Boeing 737-800 with winglets. There we go. That's all the information I can give you about this flight. That was gate 3 that we just departed from, if anybody wants to know. Really excited to test out this scenery. Goodbye, Corfu. Again, this airport does not have any precision approaches such as the ILS. So when it comes to me actually testing this out, such as like doing a flight into Corfu, that's going to be interesting because I've never actually done proper visual approaches before. So that's something I still need to learn.
120.85.
120.85. North Shuttle 2517.
There we are. North Shuttle is the call sign, or how we're pronounced on ATC by the sounds of it. I'm going to hold short just here. It looks like this is the line that you're supposed to hold short at. I've no idea. Go a little bit further. I just don't want to go too far and then there might be an aircraft that's taking off or landing. It's very unlikely, but... So we can request takeoff clearance.
2517. Holding short off runway 17. Request departure. North Shuttle
Switch on the strobes.
Hold your position. Holding our position. North Shuttle 2517.
And we've got to hold our position, so we might as well just hang about a bit. There's obviously some traffic in the sky somewhere, so we'll just hang about a little bit and see what happens.
Runway 17. Lining up runway 17. North Shuttle.
Okay, so we had to wait about 5 minutes there for some traffic, but we are finally going to be lining up at 17 now. We're all configured for takeoff, so that's looking good. Taxi lights are off, strobe lights are on, and the landing lights are on as well with the runway turn-offs. Cannot wait to see the views that we're going to be able to see on departure. Should be pretty nice. If anybody would like to see me practicing any visual approaches, let me know. I can't guarantee that there will be anything pretty to look at, but I'll certainly upload them if that's what people want to see. It's going to be a training experience for me, so Should be pretty interesting for the channel as well.
Your shuttle 2517, wind 150 at 6, runway 17, cleared for takeoff. Good flight. Runway 17, cleared for takeoff. No shuttle.
Engines 40%. Stable. And toga. Nice stable acceleration down the runway. Can't wait to see the scenery. V1's coming up. V1. Rotate. I am rotating, but for some reason it wouldn't lift up. There we go. Positive rate, we can go gear up. Gonna try and hand fly for a few moments. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. So try and hand fly the aircraft, just following the flight director for a little while. Flaps to 1. Got a funny feeling that was a little bit early for that. Should be okay though. Looking good. Slight turn to the left for this very awkward departure. 180 on the altitude, ready for when we activate the autopilot. Pitch the nose down a bit. Look at that view. Lovely wing effects. Look at that. That has got to be a thumbnail. Autopilot engaged now, we can altitude intervene. Auto brake off, lock the gear, engines back to normal, and we can go ahead and switch off the runway turn-off lights. Seatbelt signs to auto, and we're away. Flaps on the way up. That was a pretty epic departure, and the best is still to come. When we make this turn to the left, look at that. As I said, we're going to go back on ourselves, so we'll probably see this again. But that is some pretty amazing scenery. The first ever time I have ever flown in or out of Corfu. So, now that we've completed the departure, we can go ahead and set the current heading. We can go over to the progress page. 12:04, no, 12:40, I can't even read. 12:40 Zulu is when we should be landing, UK time. Standard now with the pressurization. Look at that view. I know I keep saying it, but FlyTampa's done a fantastic job. And as we follow, if I just zoom in a little bit here, as we follow this departure, you can see we're going to go to the left, all the way back on ourselves, and then like in a loop, and finally we're going to be on our way. Lovely red nose of the aircraft. I have been thinking about doing like a MrYorkiesWorld livery, but it's a lot of time that it takes to do that, and it's probably a lot of time that I don't have, so maybe I'll get round to it, maybe I won't. Nevertheless, we are coming up on 9,000 feet now, and we're going to begin that turn, which, if we look to our left, that is the direction, here we go, that we're going to be going in. So, with that, I will leave you guys with some gorgeous, hopefully gorgeous, cinematics all the way over to London Gatwick. So, we can switch off the landing lights now, above 10,000 feet, and I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Okay guys, so we are near enough ready to start our descent now. It has been a good few hours. It's now 12:16. You can see that the 150 mile radius is not too far away. We're going to go to flight information, and we're going to go ahead and put in our expected approach, which is runway 26 left. So we can go ahead and ILS 26 left. We're going to be using the RNU 1 Golf Star. And we're also going to be using the Willow transition. So that's going to be on the next page. Willow. Execute that. Go to legs. Make sure there's no discontinuities, which there isn't. So we can close the Pro ATCX menu. And if we go and actually bring up the route, you can see this is going to be our approach into London Gatwick. Again, pretty unusual one. Gatwick always has these weird and wonderful approaches. We're going to select that in EFB as well, and I'll show you what it is in EFB, because you can see a little bit more detail in that. It's a really useful tool. You can activate the particular approach and it'll show you the exact map and everything. So if we go into it, we go to select approach, we're going to go to 26 left, ILS runway 26 left, and we're using the Willow, which is a southwest arrival. Just activate it, and this is it. You can see that 110.9 is the localizer frequency, and 395 is the minimums. So we'll put the minimums in. I love the 737's version of the little knob there that you have to turn. The 777's a little bit more difficult, but nevertheless, that is the minimums programmed in. We're going to be using auto brake 2. No need for anything else really. 110.9er. And that is essentially it really. We can set the course as well, I suppose, for the ILS. 260. I think it's actually 258 or something like that, to be honest, but it'll correct itself anyway. So I think that's about it, to be honest. The passenger signs are all configured and everything. We don't need to do anything with those. We can request to initialize our descent. 360, so it's only 1,000 feet. But there we go. We'll begin the descent now. I always tend to go with speed intervene as well, just to keep us on a custom descent. I know it's not really the right thing to do, but there we go. I prefer to do it. But anyways, here we go. I will see you guys in just a few moments. We are going to try and descend down to our approach altitude and get ready for landing. Okay guys, so here we are. We are literally just turning on to the runway in a matter of minutes. It's now 12:55 UK time. Nice wing view. You can see all the towns and fields and stuff like that. We are near enough configured for landing as it is. We're going to mess around with the speed a little bit. It's set at 220, but I might just increase it a tiny bit, just so the nose doesn't pitch up too much. You can see that we are dead on course. Shouldn't have to do any go-arounds or anything like that. I've been practicing go-arounds lately because it's something that I was not very comfortable with doing. I could never really do a proper go-around until I've decided to educate myself a little bit better on them. So now, if we do have to do a go-around, I will be perfectly capable of doing so. But nevertheless, I literally spent like 2 or 3 hours just doing constant go-arounds one after the other. You can see the shadow of the aircraft there, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I did like 5, 6, 7 go-arounds in a row, and now it's just all clicked into place. So there we go. I even set myself a custom training route up. That's how sad I am. Nevertheless, if we go ahead and look, this is where we are in terms of the approach. Our next left turn should take us directly up to the to the glide slope intercept, or the localizer intercept. I'm also going to go ahead and set the current heading, just in case we get told to change that by ATC, like vectoring us to a different heading or something. Really enjoyed this flight. I could not believe the scenery on the way here. It was absolutely fantastic, especially coming out of Corfu. That's the first time I have seen the scenery in action since I purchased it, so it was pretty exciting. We've got a German wings. Never heard that one before. Nevertheless. So if we go onto the progress page, you can see 13:07 is the estimated time that we're going to be landing. It's 12:58 at the moment. Just go back onto the init.ref page. We're using flaps 30 at 140 for our landing. Love the wing flex. I've altered the views on EasyDock as well, just to make them look a little bit better. Hope it does look better. If not, let me know. 2,000 feet. We shall descend. I'm going to do a manual descent of about 1,000 feet per minute. Not that we need to, but there we go. Plenty of time on our hands. Speed down to about 210, and we're going to take flaps 2 just to help with that pitching up of the nose if it does happen. So we've gone with flaps 5 now. Probably a little bit early to be doing flaps 5, but I thought to myself, why not? We are literally just about to intercept in the next few minutes, so not too bothered about following everything exactly. Speed's a little bit above what it needs to be, but we're not in any sort of danger, so that's fine. I was correct when I set the course to 258, so that's good according to the init.ref page anyway. That's what it should be set to. We can reduce that rate of descent now. Don't really need to be descending at 1,000 feet per minute. Chime the cabin, no idea why, just to let them know that we're nearly ready to land, I suppose. I don't think ATC is going to be sort of vectoring us anywhere in particular. I think this is literally just going to be it. It's going to take us directly onto the ILS.
Approach easy 8682 with you passing flight level 77.
Can't wait to start doing some EasyJet flights. I know that as a rule it's an Airbus that does them, so when the Aerosoft Airbus is released, that will be absolutely fantastic.
Easy 8682.
I think 2,000 feet is the missed approach altitude as well, so that's fine. That's already set. We shouldn't have to change that. Love the wings view. If the textures wouldn't sort of mess up, that'd be even better, but I suppose you can't have everything looking excellent at the same time as having perfect sort of performance and stuff. But anyways, we should be intercepting anytime soon. Gonna go ahead and set flaps 10. Speed down a little bit now. VOR lock, and we might as well go ahead and hit the approach hold in a second as well. I'm going to set the speed to about 190, 195, something like that. I mess about with it. Approach hold might as well just go in. Lovely wing view. Looks like we're going to be the first one in the queue to land. We're not going to need to vector ourselves out or anything like that. We're already established near enough. No go-arounds, looking good. So 195 on the speed. Just until we get told to reduce down to our final approach speed. 13:02 now. So 2 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. Frame rate's sort of going to pop, but there we go. Here we go, we're requesting landing. Final approach speed, which is 140. It's actually 139, but we'll stay at 140. Flaps can go down, and we'll drop the gear. A little bit early, but who cares? If we manage to see it on time, you can see the gear extending just. But here we are with Norwegian.com, the 737-800. Flight 2517 to be exact. Although you should already know that. Full landing flaps now, flaps 30. You can see the glide slopes coming in. The nose is not pitching up too far at all. That's absolutely fantastic. Speed's coming back perfectly. We're fully configured. 139. It's not really much of a difference, so we'll stick with it, but there we go. Apologies about the sound loss there. I was just clicked out of onto EFB by accident. And everything is set. The gear's down, auto brake's set, speed brake's set. Missed approach altitude is set. A little bit of lag there, I do apologise. Look at that wing view though. Perfectly on profile now. We do have a few aircraft coming in, but to be honest, they're not going to pose much of a threat at all. Can see the runway. Going to wait while about 1,000 feet. Looking good. Got an aircraft up there to our left. There's 1,000. And we might as well go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. The aircraft is now mine. And try not to mess up this landing. Runway 26 left is a little bit... It's one of those runways where the touchdown zone is a little bit further on than the runway. So it sort of catches you off guard. And I'll probably end up being too low by the time we land. But nevertheless, let's try to get this bird on the ground with a nice, smooth, controlled landing. I should be able to do it without getting too low, to be honest, because I did practice the go-arounds with London Gatwick on runway 26 left. But nevertheless, we are still a little bit low. Very low, to be exact. Shouldn't be anything that we can't handle. We might get a glide slope warning in a minute. Trying to lift the nose up. Continuing. Yep, we are a little bit low. Everything's in the bag though, we're okay. We're not going to touch down before the touchdown zone, so that's fine. And there we go, a little bit of lag, but we're down. Reversers are green. $80 knots. 60 knots manual braking. And we are down. Told you I was going to be a little bit low, and I was. Nevertheless, flaps are on the way up. Speed brakes are down and everything. And here we go to the rapid exit, where we will hopefully stop, sort the aircraft out, and then we can go ahead and taxi to the gate. Well, that is it. We managed to get from Corfu to London Gatwick without any issues. Yet. I better not say anything too soon. Just do a little bit of clean up on the MCP. Cancel that warning. Right. Parking brake set. We'll just continue on the other side here, clean everything up. We can set the engines to off or normal. We can start the APU, switch off the landing lights. Strobe lights can go back to normal, I suppose. We need the runway turn-offs on and everything because we're going to be taxiing. So, let's just request taxi to parking.
North Shuttle 2517 is cleared of the runway. Request taxi to parking.
North Shuttle 2517, taxi via Echo Delta Quebec Lima Kilo to Terminal 1, Gate 25.
Via Echo Delta,
Gate 25, right, okay, so
Gate 25.
I just have a look on EFB and we'll be on our way to that gate. And as ever, I needed to have a follow me to show me where I'm going, because I'm just a cheater, but there we go. Here we are, we can turn off the taxi lights. And see if we can't mess up the parking. For some reason, it doesn't show me like the distance. Like the safe dock thing, it doesn't show me that. I don't know why. I think I might need to reinstall it or something. It just doesn't seem to work. But nevertheless, let's go to an external view of the aircraft to see if we can get the nose spot on where it needs to be. And we're going to stop too soon, so I need to apply a little bit of power. A lot of power, and all that power just for that, right. Parking brake set. We can go ahead and transfer the APU power. Something I always end up forgetting. Cut the engines. And the seatbelt signs and everything can come off for the first time in over 2 hours and 50 minutes. Connect the gate. Or the jetway, as long as it's not going to go through the aircraft, and we can request deboarding as well. Now, is the jetway going to go through the aircraft, or is it going to stay where it is? I've been having some problems with this. Yeah, it's going to go through the aircraft. Let's just stop it there, actually. Let's just stop it there. It's going through the aircraft. We're going to use, believe it or not, the inbuilt air stair that comes with the PMDG aircraft. Because I really cannot be bothered with things looking like that. I know it's the end of the flight and I shouldn't really care, but there we go. FS actions, doors, air stair, and then we can open the main exit. I have no idea why it's pumping its way out, but anyway, nevertheless, it's opening. The animations are a little bit messed up. But there we go. So, that is it. Corfu to London Gatwick. Flight number 2517, I forgot it then, in the bag. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know if you'd like me to do any more flights to or from Corfu in the future. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.